Fans, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people just like you right there and just like me right here. Look, folks, what the world doesn't need is another Elton John tribute album, okay? But one is about to drop. It's called Revamp and Restoration. It's going to feature a number of interesting artists. Chris Stapleton, Vince Gill, the Eagles, Don Henley, he'll be in there. Queen of the Stone Age, Lady Gaga, and Pink all plan on contributing to this new album. In fact, the latter of which there is going to be doing a new version of Benny and the Jets. And Elton is going to show up. Now, hold on. I thought this was a tribute album. Elton is showing up for his own tribute. Look, folks, it's called Revamp and Restoration. Before I launch in here, you could obviously check this out via Ultimate Classic Rock. But when's the last time you've heard like Madman Across the Water on your radio? When's the last time you've heard the full version of Funeral for a Friend? Love Lies Bleeding. When have you heard that on the radio lately? Tumbleweed Connection. Don't Shoot Me, I'm the Piano Player. Honky Chateau. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, obviously. These albums to me were like Beatlesque. They were that good. And what I would like to hear, instead of other people ruining Elton John's music, of course Elton's showing up, so I don't know if he plans on ruining his own stuff, but I've pretty much resigned to the fact that I'm going to like the original version of any song that Elton John did better than a redo by either himself or by, like, Vince Gill, okay? You know how I'm feeling about Vince Gill these days. Why does Vince Gill have to get in on this? There was a tribute album, too, already back around 1990 or so, or 92, I can't remember actually when it came out. It was called Two Rooms, and it was talking about Elton and Bernie Taupin, and again, you had a bunch of people doing Elton John songs. I think Rod Stewart did, like, Your Song, and, you know, those versions were okay. They were serviceable versions, but do I really want to hear Lady Gaga covering Elton John? No! I would rather have radio stations take a look at maybe Elton's last couple of albums, which they more or less ignored, and give those albums some airplay. Elton John, of course, wrapping up his career. He's on a farewell tour. This is, a victory lap kind of thing. And all of these artists are just, chomping at the bit to jump on board with this tribute stuff. I just can't see why anybody would want to hear Don Henley's take on an Elton John classic. Maybe you want to, but why wouldn't you want... Look, again, go back to those early albums. I couldn't get enough of things like Country Comfort. I could listen to that tune all day long. Deep Tracks, Mona Lisas, and Mad Hatters. I mean, come on, folks. That's Elton John. Really, even his more, say, funky R&B Philadelphia period where he was, hanging out with Kiki D. By the way, if you keep reading this article, somebody's doing a duet of Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And I read it, and I forgot who it was, but I'm trying to find it again here, because I won't remember these two people. Somebody by the name of QTip and Demi Lovato are doing a redo of Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Yeah, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. What can I say? Q-tip, really? I just can't do this anymore as far as just let this music that was once so heralded, so awesome, just drive itself off of a cliff with these folks who weren't there, who don't appreciate it, who are now coming along to try to make some bank on a guy like Bernie Taupin, who wrote some amazing songs, and Elton John, who performed those songs to perfection. No tribute album is needed, folks. We've already had one. Like I said, it's 2 rooms. You can go look it up. There's already been one, and I'm sure there have been a number of folks that have covered Elton John songs over the years. So what you could do is go back and at least archive or find all of those songs and create a classic rock version of a tribute album to Elton John. Remember Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, George Michael and Elton John? What version of that song do you hear on the radio nowadays? You don't hear the George Michael Elton John duet. No, you hear Elton's original. And even though that charted and did well and people were playing it on the radio and George Michael was just really obsessed at the time with that song and Elton John, it's the original that gets the airplay. So there you go. That's my perspective. I'm done. No tribute needed. Elton John has already been heralded. I think he's Sir Elton John, so he's got everything he needs. He's had a great career, and let's just leave it that way. Let's just listen to Elton John's music and let it speak for itself. All right, I'm done. I'll be back later. Talk to you then.